When writing a paper, it is important to include blended quotations with MLA citations. It is important to integrate a quotation into your sentence instead of dropping an entire quote into a paragraph. You can do it 3 different ways: using sentence lead-ins, combining sentences and quotes, and incorporating just portions of a quote into your text. Let's start with sentence lead-ins. You can use a colon and follow it up by providing your quote that proves your lead-in. For example, Atticus continually taught Jim and Scout to treat others with respect and to remember that they're a part of a community, even if that community is pulling in different directions. Remember this: no matter how bitter things get, they're still our friends, and this is still our home. Notice how the lead-in sets up the quotation, and the quotation proves the lead-in. The next method you can use is to combine your sentence and a quote. You have 2 ways. You can start with an introductory phrase that leads to the quote, or you can start with the quote and end the sentence with the commentary. For example, Atticus bestows a life lesson in Scout when he explains to her, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it." Or conversely, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it," explains Atticus to Scout as he bestows her with a life lesson. And the last method is to include just portions of a quotation. That's going to be small portions of the quote, usually the author's most powerful language. For example, Atticus realizes that Tom is probably going to the chair, but he values truth and will fight for Tom till the truth's told. With MLA citations, you want to be sure to include the author's last name, as well as the page number on which you find the quotation. For example, from Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, we have in parentheses at the end of the quote or the end of the sentence, Lee 100. This denotes that I found the quote on page 100 and the author of the text is Harper Lee. You may have noticed that each of the examples from this mini lesson also included an MLA citation. At the end of each of the examples, it had Lee and the page number on which the citation was found. You want to be sure and do the same thing to incorporate both the author's last name and the page number on which you find your quotation.